Hello everybody, Caesar's at your presence, and today I'm going to be talking about an idea that I had, right? And I'm just going to be sharing it. Maybe people have did this already. People have probably did this already. But, I just want to go ahead and talk about it because it's actually very beneficial in keeping dishes from piling up. Very, very random subject for me to talk about, but honestly, I kind of like talking about things. Dude, I'm not going to lie. I talk to myself a lot, right? I could talk to myself for like an hour, right? I start like at one subject and then I go to another and I'm like, wait, how did I even get to this topic? Anyway, I digress. Look, okay, dishes, like, let's be honest here, nobody likes washing piles of dishes, right? Maybe there's a select few, but the typical person doesn't exactly like washing piles of dishes, especially when they have other things that they'd rather be doing. I think this is more of an idea that applies to people that are currently living on their own, or people that are currently living with like family members or something along those lines, and they are more likely fending for themselves. Okay, look, here's the idea. Go to the store, right? Get one bowl, right? And I want you to think about it like this. Get a bowl that you can apply slight sentimental value to, kind of like you're maining a character on a video game, right? It's just like one of those bowls that you'd only use, basically. Get a bowl, get a plate, knife, fork, and spoon, right? And only use those. And strictly use those, right? Don't use any of your other dishes. This is probably gonna go ahead and significantly make all of your other dishes basically useless, unless like somebody, I don't know, maybe one of your family members shows up and they want to go ahead and eat, and you go ahead and give one of these. Okay, whatever. But for the most part, right, you're on your own, or you're like single and you're with your parents, and you don't exactly want to go ahead and put your burden on them. If your bowl gets dirty, you are responsible for washing that. If your plate gets dirty, responsible as well. If you don't wash this bowl, or you don't wash this plate, or your utensils, I mean, sheesh, you can either go ahead and just eat with dirty dishes or just not eat at all. The only way that this is gonna work is if you have at least a little bit of self-discipline regarding this, right? You're using this and these are the only things that you're cleaning. You're solely responsible for these, and you don't allow anybody else to wash them, right? If you're not washing them, then nobody is. Assuming that you have a room of your own, leave them in your room. Yeah, you gotta leave them in your room. Just like keep it in your room and then just wash that. Put it back in your room, right? The utensils and the stuff, they always stay in your room, right? They don't go in the dish rack. If the dishes are drying, they're drying in your room, right? Or maybe you just go ahead and dry them before you put them in your room so that they don't have to go ahead and sit there and air dry. Why? Because they're yours and you're responsible for them, and you don't want somebody else washing them, because you do that enough times, eventually it's just going to become part of all the other dishes and the entire dynamic is going to be ruined, right? The reason that I'm bringing this up is mainly because, right, you ever just go ahead and have a bunch of dishes that you've piled up, especially if you live alone and you've piled up a bunch of dishes, and it's annoying, man. It's annoying to have to wash. You have better things to do, okay? So you might as well just go ahead and have 1 to 2 dishes and a couple silverware, and you just use that, right? So like whenever it gets dirty, you wash it and there's no dishes in there anymore. The most amount of time that you'll have dishes in there is probably like 5 minutes. It'll significantly help with that dishes problem, especially if you tend to procrastinate. I think it's really beneficial. Okay, it is really beneficial. That's all I really had to talk about. Hopefully this idea helps. I honestly just wanted something to talk about, and this was the best that I had so far, and hey man, it may help somebody out, and if it does, I'm glad. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, and if you find my channel somewhat interesting, please subscribe to it, and as always, stay blessed.